Remember how exciting a new phone used to be? Sure, smartphones keep getting better, but better isn't good enough. We want a phone with the power to change the way we live. Introducing the Changhong H2, the only phone with a material sensor that can scan and analyze physical objects. The H2's material sensor absorbs light reflected back from an object, breaks it down into a spectrum, and analyzes it to determine its chemical makeup. Every object has a unique molecular fingerprint. The H2 is the only phone that can read it. It brings the power of laboratory science to the everyday, revealing a world of information never accessible before. From the sweetness of a fruit off the shelf to biometrics from your biceps, the H2 gives us the ability to discover more. Now your phone can verify a product's authenticity and warn you if something's not right. It's a brand new way to experience the world and all the sweetness it has to offer. Imagine a future where a phone can scan your skin or bring the real world into a virtual game. With a high-density polymer battery, fingerprint sensor, 6-inch full HD display, all-metal aircraft-grade aluminum frame, 16-megapixel autofocus camera, and a SILE molecular sensor. The H2 gives us a reason to be excited again. The Changhong H2. Exciting is back.
We're all a little bit afraid of dropping, drowning, and breaking our phones, and it's why so many of us put big, bulky cases on them to protect them. Some companies actually try to beat us to the punch and build that ruggedization right into the phone from the get-go. But unlike a lot of those phones, this new one, called the Cat S60, has all that ruggedization and a pretty cool trick up its sleeve. It's got a thermal camera built right in. First, let's talk about how seemingly indestructible it is. You can drop this thing from up to 2 meters, and you can even submerge it in under 5 meters of water for up to an hour. You can use this thing in pretty extreme temperatures too, as cold as -13 degrees Fahrenheit and all the way up to 131 degrees Fahrenheit. Now the good thing is you're not sacrificing a ton of performance for that ruggedization. It's got a 3800 milliamp hour battery which lasts longer than a day, 3 gigs of RAM, a Snapdragon 617 processor, and 32 gigabytes of storage, which can be expanded with a microSD card. One of the only drawbacks is that it only comes with a 4.7-inch 720p screen, which doesn't really handle colors that well. But you're not buying this phone for the screen. If you're going to buy this phone, you're buying it for the ruggedization and for the thermal camera. Now the thermal camera comes from a company called FLIR, which provides thermal imaging software and hardware to everything from Formula One to the military. Now the camera, which is on the back of the phone, works just like any other thermal camera. It picks up the infrared light that's outside the visible spectrum in any scene and lets you do things like measure temperatures or even see in the dark. Now it's VGA resolution, so it's not the best, but Bullet, the company that makes the phone, and FLIR have come up with a pretty clever solution on how to make that better. There's also a standard 13 megapixel camera on the back of the phone, and they use the resolution from that to add detail to any thermal image that you take. What's really cool about that technology is you can use it in real time, but what's even better is that every time you capture a photo, FLIR software is capturing all that rich data, and so you can always go back to it and do a bunch of different stuff with it. You can slide your finger back and forth to see the difference between the thermal image and the regular image, or you can drag markers onto the scene and measure the temperature of specific objects. Now you might be wondering, why would I need this technology in my phone in the first place? And if you're asking that question, then this phone probably isn't for you. I was asking it a lot over the last couple days as I was using it, and as fun as it was to take the temperature of my dog or make sure that the cold air from my air conditioner wasn't just going right out my apartment window, I didn't really have much use for it. And that's because this phone is really for people who need this technology in the workplace. So everything from farmers to electricians to people who are doing home remodeling. It lets you see things like leaky pipes or a bad electrical job, or even lets park rangers spot wild animals who might be near them in the middle of the night. And that's part of the reason why this phone is going to be a little on the expensive side when it goes on sale later this summer. It's going to cost about $600, and it's only going to work on AT&T and T-Mobile. Here's the thing though, if you're just curious about playing around with thermal imaging in general, or you don't want to give up the phone that you already have, FLIR actually already sells the technology that's inside this phone in another product that attaches to basically all iPhones and Androids. And while this phone is impressively rugged, if you're looking for something that will withstand your daily clumsiness, you're probably better off with something like the Samsung Galaxy S7 Active, which is just about as rugged and has better specs across the board. Or you can always just get a case. Never gets old.
Innovations always start with a single idea that just happens to be revolutionary. Like the new Yotta phone. It combines the features of a regular smartphone with the benefits of electronic paper display. Yotta Phone 2, the world's first mobile that rethinks your relationship with smartphones. The EPD interactive screen is always on, but consumes far less energy and doesn't harm your eyesight. It provides constant access to key information. You can create dashboards based on your personal priorities. The new Yotta phone isn't just another smartphone. Use it completely hands-free. Everything you need is just a glance away. The always-on screen just keeps on displaying missed calls and messages until you react to them by touching it once. Yotta Energy Mode saves your battery's life, switching on automatically when it runs low, dramatically increasing your phone's working capacity. You can turn it on yourself when necessary, keeping all the basic functions in operation, so you can go on as planned. With Yotta Energy, you don't have to think about charging your phone for days. But even if the battery dies, the Yotta Snap feature will keep your vital info on the always-on screen for as long as you need it. So don't worry, you'll never hit a dead end with Yotta Phone. Apart from the latest multimedia possibilities, Yotta Phone 2 reinvents ordinary things such as reading. Manage your personal library with convenient navigation and get a reading experience beyond regular books. Look up a fact, translate a word, or share a thought-provoking quote. The e-ink screen lets you process more text. It will easily last up to 100 hours. That's more than a week of active reading, all without straining your eyes. It's fully interactive for writing, social networks, and much more. Transfer the extensive resources of an Android to the energy-saving screen with one touch. The electronic paper display banishes sun glare and gives you a wide viewing angle that ensures exceptional readability. As a result, Yotta Phone comprehensively outperforms ordinary smartphones. Anything can become a cover, dynamic wallpaper from the YottaCast collection, a family picture, or an entire slideshow. Decide how you want your phone to be. Yotta Phone is an extension of who you are. Adopt a new look whenever the mood strikes. We build every aspect of Yotta Phone focusing on the needs of the consumer, often overlooked in the race to technological superiority. Rethinking the smartphone from scratch led us to create a product that not only answers the demands of the modern customer, but opens up a whole new horizon. Because innovative ideas have the power to change the world around us.